Ay, 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 ay. Ok, buen día. ¿Qué vemos hoy, che? El daily no tiene mucho sentido. ¿Qué vemos en el daily? Estamos tomando previous week high en este gap tremendo. Me gustaría tomar este high y caer, como estamos haciendo. Fíjate que en 4 horas estamos sweepeando, ¿no? Pero 1 hora, o sea, 4 horas está alcista, está bien alcista. Tomamos el bici, subimos, order lock, subimos. 1 hora, tenemos un bici y un CB, estamos peleando ahí. Y acá que vemos, ahí justo abrió, mira. Em, Asia es un buen rally, que eso también le da baja probabilidad. London también es un rally. Estamos tomando las últimas 6 que tenemos para subir. El opening range gap es de más de 40 handles. Tenemos previous big high como RTH. Fácil, muy rápido. Ahora sí podemos caer, porque ya no creo que nos quede nada alcista. Nada bajista, digo. Excelente. Ah, estoy escuchando ICT, vamos a... Espero que no me caiga.
3 days and 3 nights if he's
Oh,
crucified, dead, and buried on a Friday, and then resurrected Sunday morning before the sun rose. It doesn't work out mathematically. So Thursday was the day he was crucified, by the way. You can thank me for that, no extra charge. And here's that buy side they're reaching for right above these highs here. What I would want to see, should it get there, because it could just stop right here because Phil's watching, But trading above that, getting that buy side liquidity,
hoy es Low
and then we want
Probability
to see
Day.
it want to work its way
El viernes
back
fue
down inside the range
Holiday. O sea,
defined by this buy side here and the inefficiency there. So this big buy side and balance sell side inefficiency, even if this thing was to go continuously higher, I would like to see it try to work its way down into the upper half of this, but I'd prefer to see it happen after it takes this buy side or this highs here. Okay, it was able to take this high, but left this one there.
me gustaría empezar a ver una estructura bajista.
So we have the levels. I can bring it back over here, square it up so you guys can watch it with me. So this buy side and balance sell side inefficiency there, no volume imbalance to speak of. That midpoint here,
Uf, igual este order block.
or consequent encouragement. I want to see,
A
does
ver,
it
4 horas.
use this
Para.
then to make a run higher? And this could potentially become a inversion fair value gap, which is basically laying over top of that same level there. Okay, so what I've
4 horas.
annotated is
Alcista.
this candlestick's low,
Order block.
this candlestick's high,
Alcista.
this is
Esto en un
consequent
bici
encouragement.
alcista. Eh,
Take the buy
tomamos
side.
alza y
There's
subimos.
that buy side we just
O
talked
sea,
about. Now, if it's going to pull back into the range, I want to see if it can get back down into this. There's minor sell side forming right here. For people that's chasing, they like that opening range breakout stuff.
a ver.
That's not what I was teaching the last time we were doing live stream, by the way. Had a couple of people question. So basically, opening range breakout, question mark, like repackaging or rebranding something. The first hour's range is not something that, what's his name? Steedlemeyer or something like that. I think it's what it is. He didn't create that. Okay. The first hour's range has always been a thing. It's always been a thing, even before he ever mentioned it. And
Tengo
I'm not trying
la
to beat
bolsa
up
de
on
acá.
anybody. I'm just saying that a lot of you guys just take social media as your reference and you think that's the Encyclopedia of Britannica, and that's the sole sum of the matter. Like it's because someone posted something on it, and there it is. These markets have been utilizing things for a long, long, long time before they were in print. What I was showing you was how you can use that first hour's range
Me gustó
to
este orden,
do
loco.
standard deviations, and that's not what Stoudemire was doing. Okay, and that's not opening range breakouts. That's not what we're talking about.
¿Por qué? Y porque en el model
So
dice
we worked towards again. Let me refresh
probability
my
claro,
focus, and that way you can see what I'm referring to.
que era la red de HVC
This
liquidity,
low, when did
pre-market
that
tuvo
low
liquidez
form?
contraria, 30 displacement, no hizo flor
Pre-session
presente,
time.
order
Okay,
of
so 7 o'clock
test.
in the morning low, that would have been essentially starting right there. Okay, so those lows are relative equal. If it's going to take relative equal lows out, what can it expand down to? Obviously, that low right there. So they took that first, right here at 929. They ran that first and then ran it quickly above relative equal highs. Then the buy side here, and then right to this level here. So now what I'm watching for, I'm trying to get acclimated to what price is doing this morning ahead of some nonsense tomorrow.
Oh, fair presente,
Take the buy
exchange in
side,
state,
then pull back into the range. This level
nasty.
right here and this gap down. I want to see this show me what it wants to do once it gets there. It may not get there. I may be wrong. And that's all part of getting back
Me
into the market. Okay. When I've
encantó.
been away for a while, I'm looking for signatures that give me a read. There you go, right back into it. Okay. But it still hasn't touched the consequent encouragement level, so I'm still incorrect so far.
Me encantó, boludo.
Look at that. Look at that. This guy is so lucky. But you didn't take a trade. Dude, go back to sleep. So here's the sell side below here. We'll see if we want to rip through that.
¿Por qué también? Y porque me
Remember, we
gusta
have the opening range
que el London
gap
Low
that's
confluya
going to be
con
a
el New Week
heavyweight
Opening Up.
on draw. So we have this portion of price action down here.
Está gigante esto.
All this for free. Good grief. No affiliate code marketing. No buy my course. None of that stuff here. Isn't that fun? All right. So we have no software program to market to you. It's great. So here's the settlement there. And then there's the opening price. So this is your next consequent encroachment. This is opening range gap consequent encroachment. And once it hits that, then I would be satisfied with the read, and I'll teach you something, okay?
Este 3. Pero es muy grande, boludo. Así que vamos a esperar que nos dé otra cosa. Por ahora está cumpliendo perfecto con lo que esperábamos.
So we have this annotated now,
Tomamos pre-week high, que
and
es
I can go back to
RTH
electronic trading
Liquidity.
hours. So that level there is the consequent encroachment of the opening range gap. Okay?
RTH
So regular
Liquidity.
trading hours, opening range gap. I guess I should have went and showed you the full gap closure. Let me do that too. I'm sorry. So full gap closure would be here, and opening price at 930 is here. So there's your opening range gap. And we can do this. We can add the octants too. There's your screen
Sí,
capture
me encantó.
opportunities. You can see what those levels are. Right. So there's the octants. You can see
Literalmente me
they trade
encantó
down
este trade.
into the 37.5 octant level
Pero es
there
que por
right
arriba
after the
tengo un Change in
reaction.
State, el otro sí.
Now I can go back into electronic trading hours. This is the consequent encroachment level. And usually by 10 a.m., here, 10 a.m., usually by that time, they find their way back to mid gap, okay, or consequent encroachment to that level there. So that's all I'm watching to see if it can do that. Not because I'm holding a position, not because I want to be right or wrong. I'm just trying to see if price, the deer outside. Hey, girls, come here. Listen. I just want to see if price is going to be able to reach these levels again, watching price action. This gap here, I'm watching to see if price can stay below that. It's already done enough by taking the sell side and trading back down into the gap. But the next point of business I'd be watching is, does it want to keep priced below on the body basis below this range here, because if it can, this is a reclaimed bearish SIBI or sell side imbalance buy side inefficiency. Trading above it, if it comes back down in after, like if say it closes above it on this candlestick or the next, if it can use that as a inversion fair value gap, then it might want to try to challenge this high. But I think it's already done enough animation to the upside, utilizing the gap opening and trying to get back to fair value, which would be previous day's regular trading hour settlement price down here from last Thursday. That would be fair value down here. Do not use this information to take trades while I'm doing this. And if you
Estoy
made
viendo
money,
si,
please don't tell me.
si
I'm
cae
not going to
acá,
give
le
you a high
metemos un
five.
short así.
And if you lost money, you deserved it because you did exactly what I told you not to do. Read the disclaimer in the description box at the bottom of this stream. Very important. 930
Termina
opening
esto.
price. We went below it here. We came right back to it now. So bulls, if they really want to send it higher, this would be the minimum expectation here. This is all they would require, and then start sending it higher if they wanted to be bullish. So that's kind of like in my mind, the internal dialogue. I'm watching to see if that can happen. I personally am expecting it to try to still get back down to consequent encroachment. Me personally, I want to see if it can do that.
Y
Not because I have a
mira,
vested interest in it, but I just want to see if it can do it. Because if they can leave this gap opening here, then I'm going to anticipate, further fluffing on the upside ahead of Tuesday's, tomfoolery.
los 40
This
handles.
is what I'm saying. Some people are misquoting. It's tomfoolery. Okay, that's shenanigans. That's manipulation. That's spill. Okay,
Just
that's
rally.
the
Ah, no, tomó
that's the guy
25
saying
horas.
not today. ICT, not today.
First presented
So
35.
in retrospect,
Big.
say this would have been a day where I have not been away for a week, and I wanted to take setups. I wanted to short. I wanted to buy long. I wanted to do things. Okay, if you watch the beginning of the stream when we first clicked over, not the beginning of the stream, but the
Ahí me
beginning
gustaría
when we
shortear.
got to
¿Por qué
this
no shorteo
NQ
acá?
chart, I stated that we would look for a run up above these relative equal highs.
Porque no me está
Once we
mostrando
cleared that, then it would be
weakness.
kind of like forced to go higher. They take that liquidity over here because it's real smooth. See how nice and smooth they are? That they want to disrupt that, and they did that very
ICT está
efficiently
diciendo
there.
que es
And I said,
smooth.
should it go there before it went there? I said, and then I want to see it pull back into the range, and the objective would be to try to get down into this gap, and then the midpoint of this buy side and balance side efficiency. That would be the target, or kind of like a partial target, and then 930 opening, and then anything below this low
Mira esto.
would be the first octave there, and then
Subimos.
any portion I
Tomamos
would have had
salsa
left
y
on would have been
subimos vuelta.
stopped out moving above this gap here. So that's how I would have used it, and you can clearly see that's how I trade when I do it.
40 handles está
These
bien,
are
llegando a
levels I called
25.
while we were looking at it, and how I would have used that information. So for like logging purposes, say for instance, like you're brand new, you can go into your charts, not mine. Don't take
Me gusta
screenshots of
el
mine,
15 minutos de la
and
salsa y
then
para subir.
annotate
Me
like that.
encanta eso, pero no lo veo
Using this
muy...
as turtle soup. It's a false breakout. Okay, and then expect it to pull back down into the range. Here, target 1, target 2 is 930 opening price.
El
Sell
cheche
side,
está ahí.
anything below that will be an ideal level, an octant below that, because this is the opening range cap. Old pool of liquidity,
Todavía no tenemos ni
that one
siquiera una
here.
estructura
So
armada, o sea,
we're going to see
es
if
una
they
locura
can
tradear ahora.
mount a close above that here. If it does, then we'll challenge this high. I'm not convinced that we're done with the opening range gap down here. So this would be a nice little point of draw to it, and then look to see if it can make an attempt to get below here, get the consequent encroachment. We still have time until 10 o'clock.
Sí, sí, no hay que volverse loco, son días de bajas probabilidades.
I'm of the opinion if we didn't have that line in the sand drawn out by Trump, Tuesday is going to be this day, that day, and you better open straight up, that type of stuff. If he didn't post that, I believe Ideally, this gap would have completely closed in today already, but there's just a lot of stuff going on in the marketplace. So I'm trying to get a read on it. I'm trying to get a feel for what it's trying to do, how it's trapping traders, how it's influencing traders. Breakout traders are getting smacked around. You know, selling short below this low. Well, they got the rug pulled there. Shorting, I'm sorry, buying above this high here. Okay, we talked about that drawing back down in here, so that was the setup. But the point is I don't think that we'll see a lot of one-sidedness, like one direction type moves today. So I'm just watching until we get to 10 o'clock to see how they use that first 30 minutes of trading, which is the opening range. These levels here, from this opening price down to that low, this portion and all these levels here, that's the opening range gap. Regular trading hours opening range gap. Hmm. Quick look at MES. That's ugly. That's very ugly. We have CPI and PPI Friday and Monday of next week. For those
Mira,
that haven't looked at your economic calendar yet, and the 30-30, it doesn't look good at all.
fuerte el inicio, ¿no?
So
Arrancó
that
hace un
challenged
minuto.
that high. Let's see where they may want to reach for it. If it's going to go above that, let's see. Eh, Look at that. Well, I
Te
wasn't
voy a
there
anotar,
looking
aunque
at
yo
it.
estoy
There's the
bajista.
gap. Oh, you watched it happen, ICT, and then you annotated it. Okay, if you want to say that, that's fine. That's not what I
Claro,
do.
lo
I'm
anoto, o
just
sea, a mí
observing.
me gustaría caer, pero si,
My
si el precio
laptop
quiere
froze
subir,
in my office, so you're probably gonna hear my wife doing things around the
¿entendés lo que
kitchen.
digo? Yo quiero subir, yo quiero caer, pero si el precio quiere subir y tengo que poner adentro, puede ir.
Why'd you pick that? I'll get to it in a second. Okay, just let me continue watching. Right, so see this little gap right here? See that? If we can trade back down through that on the downside, let me see. Does that opening have a gap or imbalance rather? Inefficiency, volume imbalance rather. Say it right, Michael. See, this I'm a little off because being away from the markets and age is kicking in. I got that Biden thing going on. 361 half open price close is 61 half, so there's no volume imbalance there. So the wick is accurate, and there's no volume imbalance down there. So if it can mount its move below that on a closing basis without running off, in other words, if it runs above this, then I'm going to be done for the day, and I'll just teach you something right from there. But I want to see now, because we've taken the buy side here, we traded up into that inversion fair value gap, which I'll tell you in a moment why I picked that. The the market, if it trades that below this, then we can pull back into. Let's see. This would be first presented. Where is it at? There. There's first presented fair value gap right there. This is it.
A ver, me gustaría que
Let's
caigamos,
leave this there, and then we'll
pero
go
no
over
está
to this
formando un patrón de caída.
volume imbalance. Yes. Down to that, and it looks like it may be a volume imbalance there too. Open 30, 324 half, close. Yep, that's a volume imbalance, so we have to make sure that's included. So there's first presented fair value gap, and we're not trading to half of it here. So this could find some wings here. I'm going to take these levels off because it's already getting too I come back from like a vacation or a getaway, or if I fall ill and I'm away from price action, I'm not able to really digest price and see what it's doing, watching it, trading it, even tape reading it. What I generally do is I don't really try to record any new levels. I'm just watching. I'm just observing what is price doing, why is it not doing certain things, is it doing things I'm looking for, and what it does is it gives me it kind of like puts me on the same page with what it's doing at the moment. And too many of you, when you first learn a technique or a concept, whether it's my stuff or somebody else's stuff, you just want to go out there and force it, cram it right into price action right now. And you don't spend any time getting acclimated to what the current price action is doing at the moment. And it becomes a mess.
Me está
And
mostrando
there's a
alcista.
little bit of rhyme and reason as to what it's doing. You've seen some of that being explained beforehand, but it still feels a little disjointed this morning. So
Me gustaría comprar
just
acá,
be
sí.
mindful of that. If you're trading today, you're trading ahead of a potential mess, and they could drop something today, day before, because everybody's expecting the release of the facts of certain things being done or not done over in Iran, and that may be a catalyst for what they utilize for a quick blow off move. And you may be blindsided because we're all expecting it to be done on Tuesday. It would be tomfoolery for them to do it today. So that's what we're up against this year. Okay, it's very, very challenging. Not only are you trying to time the market and work with market structure and using technicals that have a real basis for price delivery historically, but then now you have your own administration manipulating the marketplace, and then it's just it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And every school of thought's going to get smacked around, mine included. So it's not like you know there's a superior way of interpretation of price action that's going to exclude you. There you go. It's a nice push forward. The Every one of us will fall victim to that because it's manipulation. It's designed to screw everybody, everyone. Okay, so just remember there's an agenda 2030, and the point is you're not going to be able to make money, and they're going to take everything away from you: your property, your cars, your bank account, your 401s. So they took out all the buy side here. So while I'm looking at it, I'll explain why I highlighted this one initially. Let's zoom into it real quick. I'd like to see it pull back into the range now. The range being the low and the high side that it's formed. I want to see it try to pull back. I'm not interested in seeing it go long. I would not chase it long. If I was trading with my accounts today, I would not look at this and chase long. It can go higher all at once, Phil. I don't care. Okay, I'm not interested. So this little business over here, you look at this wick. See that wick? This wick already did the damage of running the buy side there. So let me just map this out piece at a time, and you'll see why I chose that. That buy side was swept there with this wick. What do we do with wicks? We treat them as a gap. That gap would be viewed like this, consequent encroachments here. So we had to close above that, and we couldn't get the upper levels. Retracement into that, and then sold off. These bodies were above this swing high. Let me take this off now. This swing high here, it went higher than this. This wick, it's factored in with this run. But the
Entenderlo.
bodies here show you the real volume of the move. It's the real point of concern. The wicks are allowed to do damage, but if you look at the bodies, the highest one in this swing high is there on that close. And then this run here, we ran above those bodies and we
Está viendo el silver.
In 1980, exactly as I told you in the Traders Roundup, exactly before it happened, and here it is. And I told you they would quickly run lower before the settlement on March contract. Boom. Okay. Now we're in no man's lane. I could care less. I wouldn't touch silver. I wouldn't trade it, but I know some of you are asking. So with that vein, that idea, if it can trade above this and then stay out of the lower half once it goes to above this volume imbalance, if it can do that, then
¿Y
the
qué tal
next
si
order of
está,
business is
boludo?
see if
O
it
sea,
can
cierra
climb
la
up
hora, mira
above
cómo
this
cierra.
volume imbalance and treat that as a foothold. If it starts to mount a run after that, it would need to show a real strong run above this high here. If it can do that, then I would see this as a potential run through to a higher high. I don't see that right now. So that's what it would require from me. All these things. It would need to first prove this is bullish and then break through this and treat that as something bullish. Then I would look for something. Yes, that's climbing a lot of range before it can start moving, but that's my interpretation of it. You asked, now you got it. Okay. I'm not saying you should take a trade on that idea, but I'm not convinced that it's bullish where we're at. And I wouldn't go short where it's at either. So it's kind of like no man's land. I wouldn't touch it. Okay. It can do whatever it wants to do, and I wouldn't participate in it. So that's a safe response because I know some of you like to think I'm giving you a nudge and a little, like a hint. I'm telling you, please don't trade this. Okay. So that way, if you get hurt, you've done it to yourself. If you made money, you guessed. And I got no credit in that. Okay. Real quick, we'll take one more quick pass through the indices. Here's your daily. On the daily, this volume imbalance, which we used here, if this thing wants to keep going higher, say tomorrow creates some seismic activity in the markets, we could potentially draw back up into this. And then I'm probably going to be wrong if that happens about this being the first 6 months target. And then what they're doing is probably just building it all up, waiting for Trump's good old boy to take over the Fed chair position. And when that happens, I'm not going to be surprised if they fluff it all up and run those highs there. But that's May, okay? Because they're going to have the good old boy in position and all the interest rate things that they want to have done. He'll get it that way. And that's even
Es que el
further market
revésita fue
manipulation.
raro, boludo.
So it's going to be a real, real hard
¿Qué sé yo?
travel
Vamos
this
a
year
ver, a ver.
through the markets. It's going to be hard.
Para
You're going
mí,
to
la realidad es que
grin and
deberíamos
bear it. There's going to be
caer.
a lot of stuff that you're going to see, and you're going to know that this is absolute BS. But it is what it is. You can't change it. You can't do anything against it. I can't make it happen any other different way. You can't either. So either you're going to choose to participate with your money or not. If you're brand new, okay, if you're brand new to trading, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. If you're brand new to trading, if your experience level is less than a year or maybe even two, maybe take the first half of the year off. But whatever's left here, don't do anything in the summertime. Because I think we're going to see some crazy stuff in the summertime. I think the United States is going to get all kinds of stuff happening inside the borders, and it's going to create all kinds of stuff. Okay, and you could
Tomamos
wait
Bullseye y
until
tomamos
the
Sell Sign
last week
también.
of August, going in the first week of September, and start looking for opportunities there. I think the price action will be cleaner. So if you're afraid, if you're concerned, if you don't trust your own ability, that's that's maturity. If you're inexperienced, that's
Quería ver un
maturity.
shift acá.
That's something that's noteworthy. This is nice. I like to see it now. Go back down into the low, the first one at the fair value gap right there. It's not enough to do that. So everybody's now caught off chasing it higher, 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 higher. So liquidity right below this low there, that would be where I would carry it down to if I was Phil Billy.
Sí,
This is
pero una
my
hora
first
cerró muy
presented fair value
alcista.
gap for today. Let's not extend that. And we'll take this one off. Now let's compare these highs here and see what the Dow did. Higher high there, MES, higher high there, and
¿Qué es el
MQ,
shift?
higher high. Okay. Still, I still think this is all capturing breakout artists trying to be long. All right, Phil, just for good old time's sakes, just clear that low out here and I'll close the stream. You can do whatever you want with them then. Where's Phil? Who's Phil? Swing highs and swing lows are not limited just to the wick high and the wick low of it. Okay, so if we're comparing swings, you want to look at the bodies in the rotation that creates a swing high. Whatever the highest body part is, whether it be the open or close of a particular candle, and then you see that price action pierced with
¿Cuál
another
es
high
nuestro drop en
or swing
liquidity?
high formed
Sí,
with
random
bodies
low.
that are above that, and then it rejects,
Sí, liquidity sweep,
find that gap prior to that new higher run in those
no
bodies,
hay
and you're
FBG,
going
o
to get
sea,
an
en este.
inversion fair value gap that's very, very sensitive to the price
Transition
action.
state, shift, displacement.
Now we're in first presented fair value gap, consequent encroachment. So we want to see, can it stay out of the upper
El
half
tema
here
es
on
que
the
me
body
gustaría que sea más
basis
heavy
and extend down through, take the sell side, and then reach into this gap right there. And if it can accelerate after it does that, sell side and consequent encroachment of opening range gap or regular trading hours opening range gap. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, buddy. You're still on the Christmas card list. Still on the Christmas card list. Let's see if we can get down
No
to
sé si
this
querrá volver
and see if this can
al
become a
Transition State.
reclaimed bearish fair value gap.
Espero logro sin liquidity run conditions.
Anybody can do this. I could do this. Go ahead and do it. Do it. You see these guys all the time. What's he really doing? He's not really doing anything.
Y espero logro
I'm not
system
doing anything.
conditions. Acá.
Just like you talking. You'll talk about something after it happens. I'm not here telling you what it's going to do. Oh, look at that. See if it accelerates now. Accelerate, take the sell side below that. And consequent encroachment, this red line here. I know it's a little hard to see it, but let's do this. We don't need these other lines. I'm just adding to the chaff. So this is consequent encroachment of the regular trading hours opening range gap. So they've torn it higher. Told you they were trapping potential buyers. They're trying to buy on a breakout. Watching this candle's body. I'm going to see if it stays inside of this gap right here. Very good. Next order of business is 9:30 opening price. That's the opening range gap high. That's the opening range gap low. If it can trade back to 9:30's
Order
opening
filled.
price and then below it, this is all but guaranteed as a run on sell side. And then we'll see if it can manage to muster the strength to get down to consequent encroachment. Any acceleration below that takes us to a full gap closure. That's pretty. When it does that, that gap we talked about right here, it touched the low of it, and we had another lower low than that previous candle. I like to see that, but we're up against this wick, so that's why it's struggling to get through it. So look at it like this. We have this wick here. That's what's being the challenging factor there. Not that swing low, okay? Not that liquidity below that low. It's that wick. It's staring you in your face, but you don't see it because you don't see
¿Por
an
qué entré acá?
inefficiency. You don't see a gap. You don't
Y medio
see
por
an
favor también.
imbalance. But
Por
if
si
you're
no
trained
llegaste
under
acá.
me, you know that that's what that is. And what is it doing? The bodies are staying in the upper half. Is that bullish? That would be bullish. The wick went down the lower half, so that's why you're seeing this struggle in here. We want to see it kind of like crush through this when it was dropping down. We want to see it rip through that. That's real bearish order flow. If it starts to do these types of things here, that's problematic. We don't like to be in part of those types of price runs. That doesn't mean you can't find setups that won't yield to you even in these kind of conditions. It just means that what I'm trying to teach you is by trading in low resistance liquidity run conditions, which is this is not that. And I kind of wish I would have said that in the beginning, but if you've been around for a while, you know by what I was saying about Tuesday and what Trump had posted on his social media platform. which I think is absolutely disgusting. No president should be talking like that. I know some of us like to think like, yeah, we want to be a Billy Bad rear end type kind of guy in leadership. This guy's unhinged. I'm just gonna say, I don't care if it makes you mad or not. I don't care. Like this is not something a president should be doing. Shouldn't be talking like that. And it creates these types of settings. People are nervous about putting risk on because they got that guy out there. He has a little button. He can push it and, you know, cause chaos. And it's entertainment for him. And the faster he gets out of office, the better.
Order filled.
Don't vote, so don't talk to me in the emails, and don't send me any comments about Trump. I don't care if you voted for him. I don't care if you love him. I don't care. All right. Well,
¿Por
I've already
qué
went over
el
my
pelo
time.
como
I'm
va?
not
Porque
sure
espero que
if
sea
I'll
low
get caught up on a
resistance.
rabbit trail and start talking to you longer.
¿Por qué? Y
And
porque
I'll breach
esta,
that
mira,
time
todo
window that
apretado.
allows for AI conversion from what I say in English
Acá sí
to
tiramos.
other languages that it
Sí,
affords you all
acá
to
tenemos
listen
otro
to if
sí.
you're in your homeland tongue. So that's it for this morning. I'm going to grab something to eat real quick. And if Kit and Company is doing their thing, I'll join you guys there, but it won't be right away. I'll need a couple minutes to get something in my stomach to break my fast. And then I'll touch base with you later on this afternoon as a review. I'll give you an idea or lay of the land what I think might be something that be useful tomorrow for controlled demolition should certain scenarios pan out, like he was saying on
Sí,
his social
confío.
media account, he being Trump. So that's it for the day. Hopefully, you got something out of this tape read. This is all that's required when you're brand new. It's very forgiving. It's not like I have to be right. It's not about finding a setup. It's about getting in sync with price action. First presented fair value gap, it just traded up to that. So now if it's bearish, it needs to show a strong showing right there. Go for that sell side in the next candle or the next candle after that. So don't count this candle. It's the next candle or the next one. Take out that low, accelerate, and take out the sell side. That's how I look for it. Until I talk to you later on, I wish good luck
Dice.
and good trading.
Y ahora creo que podemos bajar el Por eso también lo pongo en el bag. Tienes chance igual de sacarme stop loss. Tss. La la la. Eso está esperando, que cierre la vela de 15 minutos para que la próxima pueda caer.
Order filled.
Congo.
Order filled.
Sí, boludo. Me estaba mostrando que estaba equivocado. Obviamente esto no es un shift, entonces. Tic, 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 tic. Hair highs. Sin SMT. La la la. I'ma leave there. ¿Por qué este inversion? Y mira, te explico. Este sweep cumple con el parámetro de tomar el org y subir. Pero no hubo un rally alcista. Subimos. Y esto me pareció raro. Como no podemos subir, digo, bueno, y el rally fue raro, ok, desde acá empezamos a caer. Por eso tomé este short. Pero al ver que acá hacemos un higher high, tranquilamente, sin SMT, sin nada. Obvio no es el mejor price action, o sea, es una porquería. Y acá invalidar todo, Civi, ¿qué me está queriendo decir? Acá me tuve que detener porque no tenía más fuerzas y vine a buscarlas. ¿A dónde? Ni idea, capaz es algo que no estoy viendo. Igual sí, por ejemplo en 15 tenemos bici y tenemos change in state, que lo podemos marcar tranquilamente. Mirá. Tenemos el bici de 15, 15, ahí va. Tenemos el bici de 15, ¿no? El bici de 15 que hay. Este parece un change in state. Tranquilamente podría ser este el change in state. Alcista. A ver, no es el mejor price action. Es como muy rebuscado, ¿no? Y tenemos este... O sea, es como que está invalidando todo lo bajista y está respetando todo lo alcista. A eso voy. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. Ya invertimos el CD5, así que estamos chill de cojones, amigo. Vamos a dejar que corra nomás. I'ma leave the door open, girl. Yo vuelvo a estudiar lo de esto. ¿Qué te la veo? En este marco también.
Order filled.
Se puede subir, pero la verdad es que está malísimo el voice section. Music in my soul, I can hear it in every day, in every night. No estoy dispuesto a perder en este environment.